At a temple in New Taipei City, a mysterious bag suddenly appeared in the men's restroom, containing the severed head of a woman covered in salt. Wrapped around the victim's head was underwear stained with the semen of multiple men, complicating the investigation process. When the police were struggling to identify the perpetrator, he made a major mistake that ultimately exposed his secret. The case shocked the Taiwanese public as the woman was murdered in a brutal manner, yet the victim's mother pleaded for the perpetrator not to be sentenced to death. What happened, and why did she make such a request? Don't take your eyes off the screen, as we'll reveal the full truth right now. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest videos. On March 15, the police in New Taipei City, Taiwan, received an anonymous handwritten letter from someone claiming to be a Good Samaritan. The letter contained shocking content for investigators. Chen Wanting's body is in the men's restroom, 200 meters from the Chiayi County Farmers Association. I can't handle it. Please help. After receiving the letter, the New Taipei City Police immediately faxed it to the Chiayi County Police Department, requesting local officers to verify the information mentioned in the letter. While the police were gathering information about missing individuals named Wanting, a sanitation worker reported finding an unidentified plastic bag with a foul smell in a public restroom at a temple. The temple, located in the town center and renovated multiple times since the Ming Dynasty, is a site where locals often visit to worship and pray. Its location matched the description in the anonymous letter sent to New Taipei City Police. Therefore, the police promptly went to inspect the strange bag found in the old restroom. It was a common plastic bag seen in shopping malls. Upon opening the bag, police discovered multiple layers of nylon bags, sacks, and clothing. They were horrified to find a woman's head beneath a layer of underwear covered in about 2 centimeters of salt. The discovery of the severed head, along with the earlier anonymous letter, made police realize they were dealing with a gruesome murder case. Authorities immediately launched an investigation to identify the victim. Upon reviewing their database, police found 64 individuals named Wanting reported missing in Taiwan. They speculated that the victim was likely a woman from the Sanchong district, New Taipei City, who went missing late last year. To confirm their hypothesis, police contacted the woman's relatives to identify the body. It didn't take long for the victim's mother to confirm her identity through her clothing and a missing tooth in her upper jaw. From the mother, investigators learned that the victim's real name was Xu Hui. She was the youngest child in a family of 5 siblings. Wanting's mother, along with her eldest and youngest sons, moved to another city to help her eldest daughter sell fruit. Before her disappearance, the victim lived with her brother Jifu in Chiayi County. The mother also revealed that Wanting had mental health issues, prompting her to visit her daughter weekly. Nearly a year before the head was discovered, she had reported her daughter missing to the police. According to Wanting's mother, she had delicate features and was once approached by a talent agency with a contract offer. Many believed she had a bright future ahead. However, in middle school, Wanting fell into drug use, dropped out early, and married at 18. 4 years later, she divorced her husband after being betrayed and decided to return to her hometown. After many life hardships, Wanting once made an extreme choice but was fortunately saved. However, her mental state became unstable. She often wore pajamas, applied heavy makeup, and wandered around the neighborhood. Some of Wanting's acquaintances said she had to sell her body for a low price to afford cigarettes and drugs. Wanting's mother decided to change her daughter's name to Xu Hui, hoping it would bring her a better life and a fresh start. However, most neighbors were unaware of her new name. After investigating Wanting's social relationships, the police found her brother Jafu, who lived with her, to be highly suspicious and decided to scrutinize him further. According to neighbors, Jafu was a good brother who often packed lunches for his sister. After work, gave her 200 new Taiwan dollars as pocket money, and held her hand to bring her home whenever he saw her wandering. Those who interacted with Jafu described him as an honest, quiet man who neither smoked nor drank. He had few friends and rarely went out. Wanting's mother described Jafu as kind and gentle, trusting him entirely to take good care of his sister. Many questioned whether a man so well-liked could be involved in Wanting's death. The police began delving deeper into Jafu's background to confirm their suspicions and made chilling discoveries. Born in 1907, 975, Jafu was 2 years older than his sister Wanting. He dropped out of school after junior high and worked as a chef, though his employment was unstable. Jafu frequently changed jobs. Despite financial struggles, he managed to cover his expenses through part-time work and his sister's government subsidies. Due to her mental illness, Wanting received a monthly government subsidy of 8,000 new Taiwan dollars. Their mother instructed Jafu to give the money to his sister in 2 installments. After investigating Jafu's circumstances, the police searched his house and personal belongings. There, they uncovered truths that contradicted the kind image he portrayed. Investigators discovered Jafu was a fanatical admirer with perverse behavior towards actress Jeannie Cho. He had written numerous inappropriate love notes in a journal addressed to her. Jafu even sent photos of himself wearing only underwear to Jeannie Cho, referring to her as his beloved wife and threatening her not to film kissing scenes, claiming it would anger him. Even more shocking to the police was that Jafu had sent a tissue smeared with his semen to actress Cho. Jafu told the police he had erectile dysfunction and argued that idolizing someone in such a way wasn't grounds for conviction. Subsequently, police interviewed several neighbors who revealed they had heard Wanting complain about being forced to sleep with her brother in exchange for money. However, since she was regarded as mentally ill, no one believed her. At this point, investigators grew increasingly suspicious of Jafu. Therefore, they delved into his family background and discovered he had a wife named Miao Miao, originally from Fujian province. Jafu and Miao Miao met in February 2012 and married after only a few months of dating. Initially, Jafu appeared generous, but after marriage, he changed completely, often cursing and threatening his wife during conflicts. According to Miao Miao, Jafu once told her he was living with his sister, who was addicted to alcohol and drugs, describing her as nothing good. However, when Miao Miao moved to Taiwan to be closer to her husband on December 30, she didn't see Wanting living with them. At that time, Jafu claimed his sister had wandered off, and her mother-in-law didn't mention Wanting's whereabouts, so Miao Miao didn't inquire further. Shortly afterward, Miao Miao noticed a faint, foul odor in the room. She intended to clean, but Jafu forbade her, saying it was just the smell of cooking oil drifting in from the window. Being deeply afraid of her husband, Miao Miao did not dare to go against his wishes. However, upon asking the neighbors and learning that Jafu had seemingly changed after his sister's disappearance, she began to grow suspicious. Miao Miao testified to the police that since Wanting's disappearance, Jafu frequently yelled at and beat her. Notably, every time she wanted to clean the messy room, he would stop her. Later, as the foul odor grew stronger, Miao Miao took the opportunity to search for its source when Jafu was not home. She identified the smell as coming from the refrigerator. Upon opening the refrigerator, she was horrified to find a human head and screamed loudly. Fearing she might become the next victim, she used the excuse of visiting her hometown to temporarily leave her husband. During her police testimony, Miao Miao recalled that when she first arrived in Taiwan, Jiafu had suggested purchasing life insurance for her, but it couldn't be done due to issues with her residency permit. At this point, the police began to suspect that Jiafu might have killed his sister for insurance money. They connected the dots and found evidence supporting their theory. It turned out that 2 years before the victim's head was discovered, Jiafu had purchased 5 personal insurance policies for wanting from different insurance companies, with a total compensation amount of 6,670,000 new Taiwan dollars, equivalent to approximately 205,147 US dollars. Police discovered that Jiafu had been secretly planning to kill his sister for 2 years. He bought multiple insurance policies for her, but one of them was invalidated due to non-payment. Over a year after buying insurance for his sister, Jiafu sought to obtain a mental disorder certificate. Citing the fact that his elder brother was taking psychiatric medication and wanting also had mental health issues, he claimed the illness was hereditary and began taking medication himself. Moreover, during this period, Jiafu forced his sister to engage in prostitution. The victim not only had to sleep with her brother, but also had to service other clients he brought to her. In March 2012, Jiafu successfully obtained a Level 2 mental disorder certificate. He then purchased black plastic bags and brought them home in preparation for dismembering the body later. To avoid drawing attention from neighbors, Jiafu brought the items needed for his plan home in multiple trips. On the day of the incident, after their mother left, Jiafu strangled Wanting with his hands until she suffocated. He then dismembered her body, freezing the head separately. After his wife left, Jiafu decided to dispose of the head. He wrapped Wanting's head in underwear, stained with the semen of multiple men, to mislead police into believing the victim was assaulted and killed by multiple perpetrators. DNA collected from the semen on the underwear identified several men, but they were merely clients of the victim and had alibis. On March 11, Jiafu took 2 days off work and borrowed a knife and gloves from the restaurant. At 4 a.m. on March 13, CCTV captured him wearing a white shirt, a helmet, and carrying 2 black bags as he left the house. At the train station, Jiafu changed clothes in the restroom, putting on a black down jacket, and the black bags were swapped for white ones. He then took a taxi to Chiayi and left the bag containing the head in a public restroom at the temple. However, 2 days passed without anyone discovering the bag. Anxious, Jiafu wrote a letter to the police on March 15, deliberately altering his handwriting to conceal his identity. Police deduced that Jiafu feared sanitation workers might discard the bag containing the head. Without confirmation of Wanting's death, they would need to wait 7 years after her disappearance to issue a death certificate. Only after obtaining the death certificate could the victim's family claim the insurance payout. Unable to wait that long, Jiafu made a critical mistake. Jiafu's actions were quickly exposed by the police. Handwriting analysis confirmed that he was the person who sent the anonymous letter to the police. Additionally, mentioning the victim's name, Wanting, in the letter was a significant oversight since it was a changed name known only to close family members. Furthermore, Jiafu's attempts to disguise himself while disposing of the body were captured by surveillance cameras. Although he denied ever visiting Chiayi, phone records showed he received 4 calls on March 13, all traced to that location. Police could not locate the rest of Wanting's remains in the septic tank. However, they confirmed Jiafu as the perpetrator through DNA evidence found in bloodstains on the rice cooker and bathroom walls. Despite failing the polygraph test, Jiafu continued to insist he had not killed his sister. He even told fellow inmates that investigators were trying to frame him. Armed with the mental disorder certificate he had previously obtained, Jiafu pretended to be insane throughout the investigation and interrogation. He claimed, "Aliens implanted a chip in my brain and are chasing me with laser beams." On July 31, the first trial took place. The Chiayi District Court began proceedings against Jiafu. When the prosecutor outlined the key points of the case, the defendant suddenly closed his eyes, foamed at the mouth, and remained silent during questioning. The prosecutor accused Jiafu of faking illness by forcing saliva out of his mouth and criticized his poor acting skills, pointing out that he behaved normally during lunchtime. Subsequently, the judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation for Jiafu, which concluded that he had no mental health issues. In the next hearing, Jiafu was charged with murdering his sister and committing insurance fraud. Prosecutors also revealed that his mental illness had been fabricated. Jiafu acted normally when asked by the judge to introduce himself. However, when the prosecutor reiterated the main points of the case, he suddenly bowed his head, stayed silent, closed his eyes tightly, and began foaming at the mouth again. Occasionally, Jiafu shook his head and refused to answer questions from the judge or the prosecutor. His defense attorney argued that the defendant had a poor mental state and requested a rescheduled trial and another psychiatric evaluation. The prosecutor immediately countered, stating that Jiafu had visited the Sanchong branch of Taipei City United Hospital and declared himself mentally ill without undergoing any tests. The prosecutor also criticized the doctors at that time for mistakenly diagnosing Jiafu with schizophrenia. In June, Jiafu underwent another evaluation at a court-appointed hospital, and the results confirmed that he did not have any mental disorders or related illnesses. The prosecutor then mimicked Jiafu's saliva spitting and feigned illness, causing the previously serious courtroom to erupt in laughter. Judge Zhuwei decided to reschedule the trial and specifically advised Jiafu that cooperating during a normal trial would benefit him. He also warned that deliberately delaying proceedings would work against him. Jail officials stated that Jiafu had been sharing a cell with 2 other inmates and behaved completely normally before his trial, indicating he was pretending to gain a lighter sentence. At a subsequent trial, with substantial evidence gathered by investigators, Jiafu was convicted of murder. Prosecutors recommended the death penalty, but surprisingly, the victim's and perpetrator's mother pleaded for clemency. Jiafu and Wanting's mother said, "Both are my children. As much as it pains me, what's done is done. What more can I do? I hope the judge will spare my son and give him a chance." On April 30, 2015, considering Jiafu's filial piety toward his mother and the fact that a death sentence would mean the mother losing another child, the judge sentenced the defendant to life imprisonment. The perpetrator's wife, Miao Miao, shuddered at the thought that if her insurance procedures had gone smoothly when she first arrived in Taiwan, the victim might not have been only Wanting but herself as well. The sentence for Jiafu sparked public outrage, especially after the brutal details of his actions were revealed, and parts of the victim's remains were still missing. Many believed that Jiafu's heinous actions were unforgivable, particularly as he had murdered his own biological sister. Additionally, the motive for the crime being insurance money, rather than being pressured by his sister's alcohol and drug addiction, further fueled dissatisfaction with the sentence Jiafu received. This concludes the shocking case that shook public opinion in Taiwan. What do you think of the sentence Jiafu received? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for listening to today's crime story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to catch more gripping cases. See you in the next video.